Good morning. My name is Kim Roble, and some of you have watched me before, and some of you, maybe this is your first time becoming acquainted with me. I am currently a 54-year-old woman who resides in Southern California in the United States, and it is January of 2021. I have decided to spend more time enjoying doing what I want instead of just pursuing what I think I'm supposed to do. We all probably have felt this pandemic in different ways, and I, for one, have been disappointed by some of the things I've learned about humanity and about many of the people I know and love, and that have put me in a position of reevaluating what I think of them, not based on my opinion, but based on their behavior. You might be wondering why I'm using this lighting today, because I know it's rather mottled and blotchy and really hot in some areas and dark in others. I'm using this light because it accentuates one of the reasons I'm making this video. And I'm making this video because I've had yet another event impact my life that makes me reconsider my priorities, reconsider my impact on this world that we live in, and what life means. What does this mean? And I know those sound like really lofty philosophical things to think about, but the reality is, like, we've got one shot at this life. We're here one time, and then it's just over. And regardless of what your beliefs are on afterlife or religion and all that, my own personal feeling is that whatever fate that is befalls every one of us, regardless of what we believe. So how we choose to invest every living minute that we have on this go-round determines the quality of our life. So since March of 2020, when the pandemic closed my place of employment and closed so much of the world and just changed so much of what we have and what we live with daily, I've also lost several people I love. And it started with my sister dying very unexpectedly of a heart attack in March, and she was only 55. And then my cousin, who was, he was older, he was in his 60s, but he died of some kind of internal bleeding that I'm sure had to do with exposure to chemicals and things like that in his field of not just employ, but his passion, which was metal fabrication. And that was April, I believe. I've had a variety of folks around me end up getting COVID, and I'm grateful that all the ones I'm directly associated with have managed to survive it, some with mild symptoms and others with much more major symptoms. So I also know people who've lost people, family members, parents, whose children have been permanently affected with nerve damage from this. And so I don't consider this pandemic any joke, and I don't consider it a flu. And I guess because I am one of the many people with underlying conditions, I consider it a threat. And one of the things I've had to realize about people is, like, there are people that believe that if I'm infected and die of it, it's not a big loss because I had an underlying health condition. And for me, I have no room in my life for people who feel that way about me. So that's one of the areas where I've had to realize, let those people go. They are not worthy of my time, my attention, my effort, or anything else, because they clearly don't value it, and they don't value me. So this weekend, today's Monday, I lost another friend, and this was an accident, but he wasn't even 50 yet, and he was just a kind, gentle soul that I worked with and knew, and it has shook me up because it all happens so quickly and things just can go awry in an instant, and then your trip's over. This go around, boop, done. People matter. I matter. So this window, the reason I chose this window, I took today as non-work day, so I'm not working today. Makes sense, right? Thank you, Captain Obvious. I've set my desk up because I work from home at a window that looks out of my house toward my neighbor's house, which is not necessarily the greatest view, but I have a giant olive tree out there, and I frequently see birds and squirrels and cats traveling through or on this olive tree and the fence and the roof. And so the sun comes in, I have a little bit of outdoor in my life, and that's important to me. It reminds me of how important it is to be engaged in more than my profession. And as much as my profession means to me, the reality is, just like with my colleague who just died, we will mourn his passing formally, and then we will post his position to be filled by somebody else because the show goes on. And that's a reality, and I don't fault or blame anybody for that. But the reality for me as well is when I'm no longer in my position, whether it's because I've finished my professional career in that position and I've retired, I've chosen to leave it for a different position, or something has happened to me that prevents me from remaining in it, whether I die suddenly or I get so ill I can't work or something, which neither one is an option I really want to embark on. But regardless of what it is, they will mourn me for a minute, and then they'll be looking for my replacement. That's just reality. So even though I love my people, and I love the responsibility that I've been honored with, I also recognize that my value is not in who I am as a human being. It's in what I bring to them as a leader. I need to get back to balancing that with taking care of who I am as a human and investing in those things that as a human fill my soul. So this video, as random and weird as it may seem, is my attempt to honor my own passion in life, which is to help people. My goal is to start a vlog, which I know everybody and their sister and brother does, but who cares? I've told myself for 54 years, well, as long as I've had that sentient thought for myself, I've given myself all the reasons in the world why I shouldn't pursue the things I'm passionate about. It's not practical, you have other responsibilities, nobody's gonna wanna care about it, nobody's gonna pay attention, you're gonna fail. I've got all those, and who gives a freaking flying flip? And yes, I nearly cussed. And yes, in my real life I cuss. They're just words. But yeah, who cares? Who cares? I guess I'm speaking from my heart to those people who need to hear this. Life is an adventure, and it's one that has so many questions and obstacles, and also thrilling opportunities and just quiet moments. I like to explore them all. I've never been able to decide on a single topic, oh, I want to do this. Seriously, I'm still wondering what I want to be when I want to grow up. And my husband reminds me, Kim, you already cashed that check. You're fully into your career. And I'm like, yeah, that's my career though. I still don't know fully who I am. I know who my heart is and everything, but there's so many passions I haven't pursued and learned about. I love to learn. I was gonna start my doctoral program this past summer, and with my sister's death and looking at all the challenges of COVID and my profession, I decided no, not the time to take on $60,000 in debt and the stress of earning a doctoral degree, especially in something that I'm not going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to do for the rest of my career. So, it's opened up the door to explore things like learning more about holistic health and nutrition, and dance and exercise, and gardening, and things that speak to me, learning another language, being a good human. So one of the things I find a lot about is, or a lot of interest in, is the fact that I'm in pretty good shape for being 54 years old, and I'm very proud of that. And it's taken work, but I do that work on top of having asthma, and on top of having rheumatoid arthritis, and on top of having a full-time career and a family. So fitness, exercise, health, nutrition, the arts, meditation, yoga, those are all super important to me. And I believe they are directly related to my current level of health and fitness, and the fact that I'm joyfully still engaging in things that a lot of women my age and men my age, or with my health conditions, have had to give up, or allowed themselves to give up on, because they didn't realize it was even an option. So those are the things I'm going to talk about. My goal is to do a video a week, between 10 and 20 minutes. And unless it's like a workout video or something that I actually want to share, which might take a little longer. And it could be on anything. It could be, again, those people who know me know that I have tried to reduce the chemical load on my body by washing my hair with non-shampoo, and I brush my teeth with non-commercial toothpaste, and I do use facial products, but I also oil cleanse. I make my own deodorant that I don't use all the time, but I use about 75% of the time. There's just so many things that I find interesting, that when you look at the research into things like cancer and endocrine issues in the United States of America, since we got to kind of factory production and marketing and corporate interests of profits over people, you have to stop and ask yourself, well, what's going on in other places that they're not experiencing the same rates of illness? And how do I learn from that, or what can I try that might make a difference in my life? And so that's kind of where I've gone with that. And I want to share those things, my holistic self-care and some of the nutrition stuff, as well as learning more about it. And I very much believe in meditation and breath work to help with the spiritual piece of it, And again, those of you who are like into a religion where it's like, oh, this is what you have to do to be spiritual, well, that is, you're right. That's absolutely right. My spirituality, which is my right, just centers on the fact that, again, we're just humans. Every one of us is just a human. And everyone sitting in a church telling you what you should or shouldn't do or how to believe is also just a human. And that book that they may be using to justify what they're telling you, whether it be, no matter what it be, was written by a human. So I'm a firm believer in the fact that this glorious planet was created by something way outside our understanding. And whatever and however we evolved to be here, we're all in the same boat. Whatever you believe, we're all in the same boat. And when you die, because you will, and I will, I just don't believe there's going to be a bunch of different fates based on what you believed or your church told you, you know? I mean, think about it. God. If we truly think about a benevolent being, omnipotent up in the sky, who looks down and controls everything going on, do we believe there would be some of the atrocious things that happen on our planet happening? And if that God is so busy trying to manage all these things, do they really have time to listen to your prayers about winning that football game or that whatever it is that's like so focused on something that really means nothing in the broad span of humanity? And don't get me wrong, I really enjoy competition and games and sports, all those things. But again, when I think about the broad spectrum of humanity and whether a higher power has time to intervene on behalf of one team or another, or a candidate for elected office, or whether or not the man of my dreams, pursues me, which he did. Love you, Tim Roble. I don't think God really has time for all that. I think they've got, or he has bigger fish to fry, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'll probably cut this whole piece. Anyway, so once I edit this down, I don't know how long it's going to be because it's looking too long to me already. I thank you for watching this. I hope that you tune back in and that you like and subscribe, because I'm really interested in knowing what I can do to maybe make your life better, in terms of learning about something or sharing something, as well as what your thoughts are and what questions you have. This recording is being dedicated to David Juarez. You've had an impact on the world, even though your life was short. And I'm so sorry for your family. You lived well. I'm glad to have known you. Thank you for watching. My name's Kim Roble, and I hope you'll check back in. Have a wonderful day.